following segment is sponsored by Daniel A. White and Associates. It does not necessarily reflect the views of WDEL or Forever Media. Rick Jensen on 1150 AM, 1017 FM, WDEL.
Well, yeah, Dan White and Associates, they are professionals specializing in retirement income. I've been a client for many, many years and ever so thankful. Andrew Wood's on the phone. He's with the Middletown office of Dan White and Associates. Andrew, how you doing, sir?
Doing great, Rick. How are you?
Good, good. By the way, great seeing you at the Blue Rocks baseball game. It was good.
You too. It's been a little while.
I know, right? So, yeah, and here's the thing that I noticed most about you and Dan Simon and a few other guys there. You all been hitting the gym real hard. And I was like, whoa, guys. Well, I know you didn't just drink and pig out during COVID. You've been hitting the gym. You guys looking great. So
thank you. We took the opposite approach.
Yeah, the opposite of mine. I was the one doing the grocery shopping. Oh, look, pie, $4.99. I need more pie and less exercise. Yes, exactly.
I would take that as a compliment, so thank you, Rick.
It's absolutely true. So, you guys want to talk about learning from other people's mistakes? I think that's brilliant. That's something I actually taught my daughter. I have these annoying sayings that she's still trying to get over. And one of those that I said to her when she was young is, smart people learn from their mistakes. Brilliant people learn from the mistakes of others. Don't be smart, be brilliant. And it sounds to me like you're about to approach that philosophy here today, right?
Exactly, yes. And that's a very, very good point. I think no one really wants to either suffer or go through any issues because of mistakes that they certainly could have learned from the past. So, yeah, we're going to actually go over some different cases. They're actually tax cases that have occurred. Working with Dan, we get information and, whether it's articles or things like that that go over mistakes that people have experienced in the past. And sometimes they're just, legal situations, but things that we do need to be aware of, especially because, a lot of times we are working with people's life savings when it comes to their retirement. So, very important to make sure that they are avoiding these types of mistakes.
Such as?
Well, there were about, 6 or 7 that I've gone through the last couple of days. I'm not going to bore you with that many, but, everyone should be aware that there is a one-time per year rule when it comes to doing any kind of indirect rollover. So to avoid that, just make sure you're speaking with a financial professional. Most situations, you're going to want to do a direct rollover, and there's an unlimited amount there. But 3 cases in particular that I will talk about. One's really, I kind of look at it as an accidental indirect rollover. So lady's name is Carol Mulhern. It's a Mulhern case. It's been published. So this is a situation where the intention was to roll a thrift savings account, a TSP, with the government and roll it into an IRA. Now, going through this process, back then there were forms. Now it's typically done online. But sure enough, she checks off the wrong box.
Oh. And
she has the entire, what she intended to be rollover, actually sent to her.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so in that type of situation, if you do any distributions from a qualified plan, 401k, thrift savings plan, there's a mandatory 20% requirement that they're going to withhold for federal taxes. Well, she got a check for about 20% less, and obviously she was a little upset. Now, she took this to court. All kinds of things happen, but in that type of situation, if you make a mistake, you're probably going to want to try to undo it if that's possible. And if it's not possible, that 20% difference, she could have made that up by moving some of any additional assets that she may have had to make up that additional difference into her IRA account. So, for example, you say $20,000, just some basic simple math here, but $20,000 went to the IRS that technically shouldn't have because you wanted to do a direct rollover. You could take $20,000 and then shift that into your IRA. That would have made up the difference.
Well, I have a question because it went to court. Was she able to unring that bell?
Well, that said, we don't know whether she rolled over any assets at this point. So it wasn't disclosed.
Wow.
But she tried to. She basically, it sounds like, tried to ignore it and then try to take thrift savings plan to court, which was unsuccessful.
Oh God, no. Yeah, that's the thing. Have the institutions wire the money to each other. Don't ever get that check. And if you get the check, oh my gosh, first thing you do is you freak out. And whatever you do, don't deposit it, don't do anything, and call the institution who's going to set up your rollover IRA and say, oh my God, I got the physical check. Please come take this from me. Let's pretend I never got it.
No.
Right?
Yeah, and Rick, one of those things, a lot of companies are required to send checks, but just make sure they're not made payable to you. They want to be made payable to the financial institution in which you're rolling it over to.
Yeah, big time. Big time. Do you want to share another one?
Yeah, I'll go over just a couple others. One's a situation, Dr. Fitzpatrick's was getting a divorce, right? And they had agreed that he was going to shift $100,000 of his IRA to his now ex-spouse. Well, to satisfy, what he did is he took 2 distributions out of his IRA and just tried to give it to her.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, there's only two real ways that you can basically transfer that money and keep it in the IRA status. It's a trustee-to-trustee transfer. He could have transferred it into her IRA account at another institution, or they could have retitled the account, that portion of the account, in her name. But because he took the distributions, he had to pay the taxes on the amount that he transferred over to her.
Yeah, and taxes and fees, oh my gosh, that could be like 50% of the amount. It could be like half your money, right?
Especially if he's a doctor and he's making good income too. So that all got added to his taxable income. Not only is he losing the money, but you're right, because of the divorce, but now you're talking about, taxes and potential fees or penalties.
Ouch. And what was the last one?
So, and this is a situation that I actually feel like I come across every so often, specifically like me, probably once or twice in the last 12 months. Situation where, unfortunately, I see a lot of, unfortunately, it's widows in particular, but spouse passes away, and they're not 59 and a half yet, but they just inherited a sum of money from their deceased spouse. And if they're not 59 and a half yet, all right, if they move that money into their own IRA or do what's called a spousal rollover, which a lot of times it's instinctual, you're going to roll that into your own IRA. If that person needs money prior to 59 and a half, there is an early 10% penalty plus taxes. Now, in this situation, name was Charlotte Gee. She basically rolled over $2.6 million of her deceased spouse's IRA into her own account, into her own IRA account.
Okay.
Prior to 59 and a half, she took about $100,000. I'm sorry, about $1 million in distributions.
Oh,
She had to pay taxes plus an early 10% penalty. She could have avoided that if she just put it in the inherited IRA status. If you put it in the inherited IRA status, she could have taken those distributions. Yes, she paid the taxes, but she would have avoided that early 10% penalty. In that situation, it's $100,000 that she paid in penalties.
Wow.
Because she made the wrong, she made the wrong decision there.
Yeah, that's just real money. I mean, that's real money. Exactly. Well, that's why it pays to talk to someone like you. So Andrew Wood or Dan Simon or Dan White at Dan White & Associates, you can give them a call at 888-690-8820, 888-690-8820. They see this stuff happening all the time. And I will say this, too, because we see this happening all across the United States and probably here in Delaware as well. The good news in Delaware is that there are thousands and thousands of fintech, financial tech, jobs here in Delaware, which is awesome, and there's been a big push for more education for more people to actually get into financial tech. The bad news is that there have been tens of thousands of fintech jobs lost all around the country. Now, there's some other good news, and that is that many of those people have found other jobs. If indeed these economists are correct, and there's going to be massive job loss within the next year or so, I'm talking about between now and, say, this time, 2023, then folks like Andrew Wood are people you need to listen to, because it's going to be a big part of your life if you're going to have a rollover from your 401k plan into your own IRA plan, right? And if you get another job and you decide, well, I'm just going to roll over 401k to 401k, people like Andrew Wood are very, very important to talk to just to make sure that those institutions don't make a mistake, because people are people. Even if they work at some of these institutions, they can all make errors, and that's why it's really great to listen to someone like Andrew Wood at Dan White and Associates. Coming up on Sunday morning at 7 o'clock, On the Money is a program hosted by Dan White, and it's the 2022 Tax Savings Review. 2022 Tax Savings Review. Good stuff, Andrew, always, and thank you very, very much, sir.
You too. Thanks, Rick. Go Phils.
All right, go Phils. Now Dan's got everybody going, go Phils.